So I have no desire to watch the game or any of that. I do not care what teams are playing, but I do care what food we have. And being from the South, that's exactly what's going to be on the TV Sunday afternoon. So let's get into some of the appetizers and snacky foods that we've been trying out in preparation. Alright y'all, so we are snacking good today, and these are called pig shots. I saw this on a Facebook recipe as I was scrolling, so we're going to give it a try, and it's really simple. It has just a few small ingredients. So first up, we've got a block of cream cheese that's softened down in the bottom of my bowl. We're going to add to it a cup of pepperjack cheese. This is a little bit more, just because that's what I just shredded. The recipe calls for Flamin' Jack, but I have pepperjack, so it's what I'm going to use. And then one large jalapeno diced up. As you can probably hear, I've got my air fryer preheating to 375. And then we're going to take our smoked sausage and just cut these into, it says little shots, but I'm going to say like little discs. It's probably a hunter that came up with this recipe, by the way. They're saying to slice it and everything. Next up, we're supposed to take a pound of bacon and cut it in half. I've already done that. And then I'm just going to take my Ninja pan to go down in my air fryer. And this is what I'll be putting them in. So I'm switching to my son's little yogurt spoon to fill these. Hopefully it'll make it easier. We take one piece of bacon, roll the sausage in it, and spoon some of our cream cheese mixture down into this little hole. We might need some toothpicks, but maybe not. We shall see. Just kind of form that in there. We're going to drop them in the bowl. We'll just keep going. So this half a slice makes it almost perfect going around this piece of sausage. Alright y'all, so look how delicious those look. I have a few extra sausage pieces, so I'm just going to toss them on top so they'll get crispy with it. But I try not to pack them in too tight, just so I make sure the bacon gets fully cooked. We're going to pop this in our air fryer for about 10 minutes, and we'll keep an eye on it and see how they turn out. Okay y'all, so these are our pig shots after 20 minutes actually in the air fryer, even though the recipe said 10. We're at 20 minutes at this point, and some of them I'm going to take out, and then some of them I'm going to put back in to let them finish cooking, because a few pieces of bacon, like those back there, aren't quite done enough for my liking. But some of them broke apart, but most of them look pretty good. So we're going to pull some out, let the others finish cooking, and give them a taste test once they are not flaming hot. So as you can hear, my air fryer is still going. These were at about the 25-minute mark, and I pulled them out because they look pretty done. But there are still a few that need to go longer. But I ate one, and they are delicious. So definitely going to make these again. Probably going to have to space them out a lot more. And maybe even use a toothpick on some where the bacon was a little bit thinner at the connection. But these we will be doing again very soon. Okay, so our next Super Bowl appetizer we're making is a jalapeno corn and bacon dip. So I've already made the bacon. We made about 8 slices of bacon down in the bottom of our Ninja Foodie. Cooked our bacon, and I cleaned out all of that bacon grease. And now we're going to start dumping in all of our ingredients. So I've got 3 cups of canned corn that I've drained, half a cup of mayonnaise, 2 jalapenos that I've diced up. I did take out the seeds and some of the ribs, but not all. 1 block of cream cheese, a teaspoon of minced garlic, and about half a cup of shredded cheese. I'm using Colby Jack just because that's what I have shredded on hand already. I think a medium or sharp cheddar cheese would work really well here also. So I've got my heat turned on just so I can soften this cream cheese and mix it all together. But once we have it all mixed together, I'm going to turn it to the bake function and put it at 400 for about 20 minutes until it's all nice and bubbly. Oop, I almost forgot to add my bacon back in. So we're going to crumble those 8 pieces of bacon into our dip. And I guess you could save 1 or 2 to put on top also to make it look pretty. But we're going to be pouring this out into a bowl, so I'm not worried about that. Okay, so it's all mixed together. I'm just going to sprinkle with a little more cheese on top. We're going to close this lid and bake at 400 for about 20 minutes. All right, it's all done. We're going to add a little bit of chives to the top of it. If you have fresh chives, I'd probably use those, but just to give it a little extra layer of flavor. And then let's taste test. That is delicious. Might even throw some parsley just to give it even more color. But, I mean, how could you go wrong? Bacon, cheese, cream cheese, corn. It's like a recipe for winning. So, we're going to scoop this into a bowl so we can snack on this and on to our next recipe. Okay, y'all, so our next Super Bowl snack that we're going to be making is some stuffed mushrooms. We're going to make these 2 different ways. So I'm just starting off with some mushrooms that I've cleaned and took the stems out of. I chopped up all that stem goodie and cut off the parts that I didn't want. Some mozzarella, parmesan, garlic, a little water, and some stovetop stuffing. Hopefully this will come together really easy and it'll taste super yummy. So let's get into it. First up, I've got a little bit of butter down in the bottom of my pan. And I'm going to drop in my chopped stem pieces. And yes, I did wash this before I put them back in it. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of minced garlic. We're just going to saute this until those mushroom pieces are softened just a little bit. And this butter is all melted. While this cooks, we're going to get our stuffing mixture put together, which is super simple. So for our stuffing that is going to go in the inside of our mushrooms, first we're going to add the bag of stovetop stuffing mix, 1 cup of Parmesan cheese, 1 cup of mozzarella cheese. We're going to add in our sauteed mushroom stems, garlic, and butter. And last but not least, our 1.5 cups of hot water. I'm just going to mix this around until it's all evenly mixed. Have the oven preheating to 400. That way by the time we get our mushrooms stuffed, it will be ready to go. And just let that bread absorb all of that water. Oh, if I didn't mention, I chose the savory herb stuffing. Now I have 2 pounds of mushroom tops. Just going to take a little bit of this stuffing. Try not to overstuff them. Not always the easiest thing, especially when some of these are smaller. But I want the stuffing to stay inside. And I'm just going to start lining them in a sprayed baking dish. So these are going to go in the oven for 20 minutes. The rest of these are going to go in the freezer so that we can save those for Super Bowl Sunday. And in just 20 minutes, our mushrooms are done. So we're going to let these cool off and we'll be snacking on these while we move to some other snacks we're going to make. Now this next stuffed mushroom recipe is a complete just experiment. I saw this on a TikTok reel video, but there were no measurements, no instructions, no anything. Just a list of ingredients and said it was delicious. So we're going to play with it and see how things go. So in this set of mushrooms, we're going to be doing crab stuffed mushrooms. And we're using the imitation crab or pollock, however you want to call it. And I'm really not sure how much to do. So this is a 1.5 pound package and I'm starting with about 1/3 of it. So mine is actually super cold, so I'm just going to cut it, or chop it I should say. There are the kinds that peel apart though and give you those nice shreds. I'm just going to move this all back to the bowl. And next up we're going to add in 1 chopped jalapeno. We're going to drop in 8 ounces, or I guess 7.5. I didn't realize the container got smaller. 7.5 ounces of honey pecan cream cheese. And again, this is just us playing with it based off of her list of ingredients. So we may end up deciding to go less, or that in the future we would go less or more on something. I'm going to add in some green onions. Doing just a small handful. And that's it. So this is our stuffing mixture. Now once these come out of the oven, we're going to add some sweet chili sauce to the top of it. Okay, and now we're going to get to stuffing. So we're going to pop these few in the oven at 400 for about the same 20 minutes. And these are our crab mushrooms. Pour over a little sweet chili sauce. And I want to do it while they're hot because I want it to really melt over it. Moment of truth, let's give these a try. Alright y'all, so these are super weird and they don't really make me think of stuffed mushrooms at all, but I like these. I think that chili sauce definitely makes it with that cream cheese. I'm not sure that I taste any of the pecan flavoring, so I'm not sure that that's even worth the added expense. I think maybe just regular cream cheese or even the green onion cream cheese will do just fine. I don't really taste the green onions in this either, so I'd probably add more. The jalapenos give it a little crunch, but not too much spice. So overall, I think it's pretty good. I'll definitely make these again. I just think that I'll probably use regular cream cheese next time and more jalapeno and more green onion. And then that sweet chili sauce is a must to go over these. Okay y'all, so the last new Super Bowl food that we're going to try is actually from another YouTuber's channel, from Greg's Kitchen. So we're going to make his pimento cheese. Now I'm doubling his recipe because I really am trying to have faith that it is wonderful, and I've been craving pimento cheese. So I will put a link to his channel in the description box, and I'll also give his original recipe, not the doubled like I'm doing today. So into our mixer, I'm adding 1 block of cream cheese, 2 cups of mayo. Next, we're going to add in half a teaspoon of cayenne, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of hot sauce. I'm choosing to use Frank's hot sauce, 2 teaspoons of lemon juice, 1 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, or the W sauce, however you say it, 2 4-ounce jars of pimentos that we've drained. So now that we have all of our seasonings and everything in it, I'm going to blend this up before we add the cheese, just so we don't turn it to mush. Now that we have that mixed around pretty good, we're going to add in our cheeses. So I'm going to turn that on low. We're adding in 4 cups of sharp cheddar and 4 cups of pepperjack. Okay, so I had about half a cup of the sharp cheddar left from my 1 pound block, so I went ahead and tossed that in. So mine ended up being about 4.5 cups of the sharp cheddar. And he suggested adding in some red pepper flakes and salt and pepper to taste. So usually I would like to let things like this set for a little bit before I taste it, but I am going to give it a taste just to see if I think it needs the red pepper flakes before we let the flavors kind of marinate together. I don't want to make it too spicy so that no one else will eat it, but I do like a little bit of spice with my food, especially something like this. Maybe some chopped fresh jalapenos would be good also. So I've got a little butter cracker, and we're going to give it a little taste test. Yummy, yummy. So it definitely is not spicy at all. I like that little bit of tang from the hot sauce and the lemon juice. I do feel like I'm going to add a little bit of red pepper flakes though. As far as extra salt and pepper, I don't feel like it needs salt at all. You could use some pepper and it could amp it up, but I don't feel like it needs it. I am going to put this in the fridge and let it set, and depending on how hungry I am, I might dig into this in just a couple of hours. That was delicious. I love a good pimento cheese also. You could make a pimento sandwich with this, but my favorite way is just putting it on some butter crackers. So thank you, Greg's Kitchen, for this recipe.